convenience. That was my big thing. Was I was under the impression he wanted to like close some level of the.
Maybe there you'll hear it.
Oh, there it is.
Wait,
I just live. Oh, there it is.
I just put the mic on. I guess it doesn't come through the live. Yeah. It does now. I took the mic.
Okay. Oh, we're ready to go.
All right, ready?
Is your are you going on Instagram Live?
Yeah, let's do it again. That's fun.
See, this is how I see it.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, how the fuck? Good morning, everyone.
We're live?
I think we're live.
Let's see. Oh, yep, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
There we go.
All right. Everyone hear me?
Let's go live on Instagram. Here, let me see.
Right.
Instagram. Yep, we can hear you. And checking connection. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good afternoon. How many we have? We only have 6 people right now. All right. Let's see how fast it takes somebody to join Instagram.
With Hex, Dirtsaw, and Charlie's
Let's
on.
flip the camera
Awesome.
around. Oh, we had Tasha join. Tasha's committed. We got the factory daylight today, so we can show you some amazing stuff. That is the original C-Pod spar. This one was in the water for how long? A month? 2 months?
That?
Yeah, a year.
No, it's been a year.
A year. This was in the
week.
water for a year, and what you're seeing right there is actually calcium carbonate that has protected the entire bottom of the steel foundation for the last year. When we pulled this out after 1 year, 0 rust, 0 corrosion, nothing. What we did is we added 4 anodes that ran electrical currents, one end, in the middle, other end, running electric current the entire year. And that essentially, that low voltage absorbs the calcium carbonate out of the water environment, and it coats it with this whole layer on the bottom of the steel foundation, protecting it from rust and corrosion. Nothing after a year. Quite frankly, it blew our minds. If you were on the live stream last night, you would have heard that when Grant answered a question, what was one of the most important lessons we learned? That was one of the most important lessons we learned, because it's so critical. Yeah, I mean, this is your home, or what you're renting, what you're experiencing. And so to have some technology that for a whole year, you can submerge a massive piece of steel in the water, and you're not rusting below you. You can rest assured, you can sleep comfortably that you're not rusting, you're not corroding. So it was a massive lesson learned, and we were so excited that it went that way. So that's big. We still offer a warranty. What's the warranty on the steel foundation right now?
I think we're looking at 10 years right now.
Trying to push for 10 years on the warranty on the steel foundation, even with the fact that after a year it doesn't corrode or rust. But we lose, it's what, 0.2 millimeters?
On the water.
On the water surface. On the water
That's
surface.
why we put the protective
coating
on.
Protective coating. Yeah, we put protective coating on the top where it actually meets the water surface, because when you have the top of the surface, it's back and forth between water and the air. It's oxidizing, and so it will accelerate the rusting process, and a little bit tougher to protect, and so that's why we put a protective coating on it on the top. So, should we jump into the questions?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's jump into.
We have a backlog of questions. We're going to try to do what we did yesterday, kind of similar. What we did yesterday was we ran through a very large backlog of questions that we've been getting over the past few weeks. Morning. And okay, that's it. I think we're gonna have a delivery right now. Or it's more solar. And so we got through maybe 35-40% of the backlog of questions. And so we're going to keep pushing through that backlog. A lot of them are commonly asked questions. And so rest assured that most likely what you're putting in the Instagram feed right now or in the YouTube chat right now, your questions very well are going to get answered as we move through this backlog. And we're going to try to do our best to preserve some time at the end to then move to, like, the last 10 minutes, what we did the last 10 minutes yesterday, we reserved for these live questions in here anyway, just to make sure we get to you, specifically you. So let's go about it that way. All right.
Yeah.
Take the cat and tell them again.
All right. Just got a package.
What is it?
I don't know. Goodies.
All right.
Probably launch goodies for our launch event.
Maybe we can see
Yeah,
both
live unboxing.
Live unboxing.
I don't have a don't have a knife or scissors here, so I'm gonna have to use my handy key as a knife.
Yeah, maybe if you move in a little bit more and I go over here, Instagram might be able to get both of you.
Okay.
All right, let's start moving to the questions. They're not here to watch us do an unboxing.
All right. Well, I want to see what I got. I want to see what goodies came in. All right. Do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, I'll start with
this open.
I'll start with the first question. Let's get some questions in here from Instagram real quick while he's opening the box. Let's go to the top. Good morning. We got a bunch of emojis. I love it. Tasha's super engaged. Are we building in other countries? We're not building in other countries right now. We're only in Panama right now. Nonetheless, we're aiming to go global by 2024. That could be subject to change in the way that it could be faster than that. But we certainly are already scouting and speaking to representatives, organizations in other countries to go global. It looks like Latin America will see some of the next pods outside of Panama based on the climate, locality, and what it would look like would be most likely taking a volume order and going ahead and setting up an assembly facility near that location, and shipping in the components to our pods and having them assembled in that country. And so, yep, that's the plan. But as of right now, Panama.
So the box of goodies was more pins, more of the gold pins. See that there?
Ocean Builders, yeah.
Yeah. So those
okay.
Gold Ocean Builder
Is
pins.
Panama the only location? Yep, we just answered that right now. Where's that project in Panama? We're in Puerto Lindo, Panama. And some hot spots here in Panama that we are targeting, will also end up being Bocas del Toro, Boquete, Pearl Islands, and hopefully Panama City as well. Is there financing available? Right now, there is not your typical mortgage financing available. We're speaking to multiple banks in the U.S. and Panama to offer that. We hope to have that set up in the next 3 weeks to maybe 4 to 6 weeks. As of right now, we offer a direct payment plan with us. That looks like essentially 4 to 5 milestone payments beginning with the deposit, and no interest on that. It's just a direct payment plan to break up your payments with us. Thinking $75,000, the rest would be financed. So again, similar though, like you said, DJ Valentina, it would be a deposit and then the rest milestoned out without interest directly with us. We will get mortgage financing set up soon. Barnacles in the area are very heavy. Barnacles are certainly heavy, certainly so. And so while the anodes, the electric current on the steel foundation that we were showing before, while that protects it from rust and corrosion, it actually does, how do you put it? Benefit, attract the growth of life. And we do that on purpose because we want the bottom of your home, the foundation, to essentially become a reef, a healthy ecosystem. Now, it is important, though, to keep it maintained, and so it doesn't become overgrown, with anything invasive. And so for that, we offer these maintenance packages. We're going to make it very low cost, low barrier to entry, so we can help maintain the pods, especially here in the Puerto Lindo area. But again, it'll be a balance of attracting the healthy growth of life, but then also offering our maintenance packages to maintain it, to tame it. All right, I think that was all the questions on Instagram. Anything on YouTube we should get to real fast?
Yeah, from Charlie. He asked this yesterday as well, and we didn't get to it.
Okay.
So, well, I actually did speak with a developer in that area about a year ago. So there is interest already from developers, and individuals can do that as well. But I think it makes sense to have a developer that wants to put in a number of units, because then we know that there's going to be support, because we would have enough units to support and do proper maintenance and everything you need, rather than just, it's harder for us to justify sending one to a remote location where you may not have support for quite a distance. I'd prefer to have them in clusters where we know for sure we can give you really good support and make sure that you have a really good experience. And if you need help, you have help easily nearby. So yeah, I think that's a good area for them. We would just need to winterize them a little bit, not very much, but there's probably a few things we would need to address, but that would be possible. Probably if it's in cold water like that, where it might ice over, then we might consider using a bubbler, which it goes at the bottom of the pod, and you would be bubbling up water, and that movement of water bubbling up over the winter keeps it from icing in and keeps the whole area around it so it doesn't ice in. That's the trick we used when I was living in our floating house in Toronto. The neighborhood would have these bubblers, and they would just bubble up. The water wasn't necessarily bringing the warmer water up. It was just getting that continuous water flow. Then it wouldn't ice over. So that's what we did there.
Cool. So moving through the questions. First one from Dora Finamore. What are the price ranges? So starting price for the flagship shell, which is let me scoot in a little bit, get Instagram there.
Yep.
The flagship shell is that circular, bulbous, iconic looking model, the 3 half floors. That starts at $395,000 US for the shell. And that comes with an 8-meter piling for the green pod or something like to pilot into the shoreline or in shallow waters. Now to get the floating foundation, the tripod model that you see in a lot of our renders on our website, that will add roughly another $70,000 to the foundation itself. And for the eco shell model, the hamburger looking single floor unit with the flat roof, that starts at $295,000 US. And again, comes with an 8-meter piling. So whether you want to put that on land or in the shoreline or still in very much shallow waters to still get the sea pod life. And then for the floating tripod models to go a little bit farther offshore, that's another $70,000. And so those are your shells and then your foundations. Going beyond that, now everything really gets personal. Whether you want to do some different smart home upgrade packages, we are starting to break them up by tier, essentially. So something very basic, like you were calling it the silver package, or then the gold package, and then the platinum package. Whether we choose those, trying to lag over here. We're starting to. Are we lagging on YouTube? Yeah, we're lagging on YouTube.
Really?
Okay, now I think.
I'm gonna turn Dropbox updates off. Maybe that's causing a problem.
Un momento, folks. Okay, I think we're live. All right.
There might be.
There might be. Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll go back to it. So we covered the shell model. We covered the steel foundations. Everything beyond that is smart home upgrades. So we're breaking them up by packages. Again, you have your 3 tiers. Or you can have sort of like an a la carte option where you can really just pick different things. You can have the gesture AI, which is using your hands to control different things like lights or music. Or then you can get your NFC rings, which is uses NFC to unlock your home and to set personal preferences throughout the home. Or then there are some upgrades such as luxury furniture through our partner Minotti, a legacy Italian luxury furniture company, or your smart luxury appliances from our other legacy German appliance company, Miele. And then the beauty of it is, the more you equip your pod with for smart home upgrades, the more you can configure it all together. Everything is interoperable, all controlled by your Pod Companion app, all controlled from central devices throughout the home. All privacy is dedicated to your pod, though. Him more than me, are big freak, privacy nuts. We're very particular about how we set up all this software. We wanted to make sure that, in your home, you felt comfortable. You felt like you have your privacy because everything is encrypted and dedicated to your pod. Nothing is sent to the cloud. It's all local to your pod. So that's just a little bit about the pricing packages. So if you bundle it all up together, that's why we have such big ranges from that $295,000, that eco shell with the steel foundation that comes with it. That is why it can be as low as that with the starter home that will come with some basic appliances if you don't need any of the smart home upgrades. But then it can range all the way up to the $1.5 million unit. So it is a big range, but it is because you can just get so modular, so personal with which you want to include in it. And that $1.5 million unit, that would look something like your flagship 3 half floor model with the floating tripod foundation, 3 to maybe 4 anchors even, loaded up with the smart home upgrades, your luxury furniture, your luxury appliances, or big coral garden underneath it. Your maintenance package, it would include really just a fully loaded unit with everything available, and so that's why it can just get to that level of cost and essentially everything in between it. But we like to look at it as a way that it's like we've hopefully lowered the barrier to entry, so there is a solution for everyone. If you want to go all out, there's a solution for it. Or if you want to just get a starter unit and leverage this lifestyle that we're helping build, there's a unit for that too. On a price to square footage ratio, these are numbers that the world has been seeing for quite a long time. These are, I think, half or somewhere around 40% of what you see in even areas like San Francisco and New York City. So prices in London, price to square footage like this is pretty average, if you would. It's really nothing insane or super high end. It's doable. So those are just a little bit about the price ranges. Is the storage? Next question. Is storage space really that large, or is it cubic feet? You take this one. Your father,
your
father asked that.
Oh, it's yeah. Good question, Dad. So that was a typo. It is cubic feet, not square feet. So 1250 was cubic feet, not square feet. That would be basically another pod almost. That would be larger than the pod itself for what the pod has for square feet. So yeah, you're correct. So that's the most of that's in the engineering room. But I was actually in the pod yesterday, and I actually made a video on this, which will air on the blog probably in 2 weeks or something like that. There's lots of storage space in the kitchen. It has more storage space than a normal kitchen. So that's really good. If you saw the renders on the EcoPod, it looks exactly the same. It's really great. But you'll notice on the EcoPod, the renders, the kitchen cabinets go all the way to the roof, and we have 3 meter ceilings. So that's a lot of storage space, and all the appliances fit in there. And then there's lots of storage space below, beside, and above all the appliances.
Nice. How do the bathrooms work? I'll spearhead it, and then you take it.
All right. First answer is really well.
Really well. Yeah, the bathrooms are amazing. The entire bathroom is smart, or it can be if you so choose. The toilet with a bidet. Yeah. Smart mirror that can show the weather. Correct.
The smart mirror broke on shipping, so
okay,
we're just going to have a regular mirror.
That's how you know we're transparent. He just told me the smart mirror that was shipping to us broke. Yeah.
So we're going to have a full length mirror. So it's going to be behind you. So you'll have this view looking over the water with the sink. There will be a little mini vanity mirror that you can move around and do your makeup. Model, right? The Eco model, yeah. And then behind you, there's going to be a huge full length mirror. On the CPod flagship, we'll have something very similar.
Yeah, the shower, 3 different directions of projection, or is it 2?
Well, standard, the basic, you're just going to have one rain shower kind of unit, and then the upgraded version has the handheld as well, like a handheld shower unit, and then you also have 6 body massage jets, so you can have like water coming at you from all angles, like full body massage as you're in the shower.
And if you get that smart, that smart upgrade for the shower, you can configure different. Or is it more about the follow me?
Well, that's all related.
All related. Yeah, there are some of these particular smart home upgrades you can get that are related to the shower. You can configure settings so you can preset your preferred temperature, or the pressure of the jets, or the rainfall shower head, which is really neat. So before you jump in the shower, you just press a button on your tablet or your Pod Companion app, and then by the time you're jumping in the shower, it's already set. I think music too, right? If you get that upgrade,
there is music. There's speakers. I forgot where the speakers are. There might be one right over the shower, but I'm not sure about that. I know there's one a few feet from the shower. There may not be one directly in the shower, but we could also play through the tablet. we'll probably mess around with that. But yeah, we can add a special unit in the shower as well. It might need to be a little bit different to deal with moisture and humidity.
And now a little bit of a different answer to that question, because I feel like the origin of this question was, how does like the waste get removed and stuff. We wanted to preface it with all the sexy parts of the bathroom. We developed wastewater recycling technology and incinerator technology. So the gray water gets purified and then recycled through the appliances, the utilities, like the faucet, back into the toilet, and then into the shower. Purified before recycled, not just recycled. It's purified before recycled. We don't put it into your drinking water. Like we don't suggest you use it for your drinking water. I mean, you can drink it.
Yeah,
you can drink it, but we have other methods for you to have drinking water. That's not how you get your drinking water. But yeah, to just recycle that purified gray water back into your utilities. The black water is also extremely purified, but strictly recycled into the toilet only. And then the solid waste, your poop, is incinerated. Yeah.
And then the waste heat from the incinerator heats hot water for the pod. So because you need to have hot water anyway for washing dishes, using at the sinks and showers and laundry machines. So you need hot water anyway. So we're actually getting it almost in a way we're getting it for free, right? Because we already need to use the incinerator. So that comes out of that energy. So it's really good. Question from Daily Dose of Pirate Chain. Will George Jetson be in attendance?
He's right here with us. Where is he?
George is in the house. George is always here with us.
One Douglas asked, lightning protection for the pod, and what is the maximum wind speed? We've actually developed lightning prevention technology. Well, did we develop this? We didn't develop this. We didn't develop this. I'm sorry, we didn't develop this. But it's a lightning. What is the proper term for it?
It's not really. Normally lightning protection involves like having a lightning rod to direct the power through the home or through wherever. But that's not really a good solution, because then you're directing this massive surge of energy through your place, and that's not ideal. So what we're using is a system that kind of makes the pod invisible to lightning. And I have the website here, but I don't know quite how to share it on here.
We can just chat something.
mto.com.tr. Yeah, okay, that's a good idea.
If we're willing to do that, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah.
And we're chatting in the YouTube chat right now. This link for the.
So that's the system we're using, and they have lots of research on their website. There's a few boats in the marina here that use not the same system, but not from the same company, but the same kind of technology. So it basically hides the boat from lightning. And there's tons of research that's been done on this, and it's just not very well known. And it is a good solution, though, because it's better to make your home invisible to lightning than to direct the lightning through, because then you're still having a big surge of energy coming through the house, and then that could still damage equipment. So it's better not to do that.
So one other question that we had, his second part was, what are the maximum wind speeds? Right now we're engineered up to 80 miles an hour. We are going to certainly be further engineering the sea pods to withstand higher winds, so we can start confidently handling some Category 4 into Category 5 hurricanes, so we can start deploying in Florida, Mexico, Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, all of these places that we have customers, we have people that want our pods. Okay, that was really, I think, all the YouTube stuff right now. Yes, I'm seeing some really good acknowledgments just about the square footage ratio and what the pods do come with, for that price included, and just the affordability of the square footage when you really think about it, when you break it down. Okay, nothing right now.
So, yeah, another comment from Daily Dose of Pirate Chain. I love all the innovation and the team pushing the limits to the highest heights. Keep up the fabulous work. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, that's a good preface to the next question. Thank you for that comment, because this next question in our backlog, how are you continuing to innovate?
Okay.
We do our best every day.
Every day.
Do our best
Watch
every
our
day.
blogs. You'll
Yeah,
see.
blogs. That's a good way to like see, actually. Yeah.
Like yesterday we were doing an unboxing, not on the like lapel pins, but we had our underwater camera arrive, and this thing is sweet.
The one he's been talking about for a while, the one that's going to send AI alerts to you, so you can subscribe to it, but then you'll get alerts for particular species of fish or aquatic life that you want to subscribe to. Like if you want to get dolphin alerts or sea turtle alerts. I'm part of that group right now that's working on that AI model, so we're moving through that process with some very special partners that are helping us. But yeah, really excited to deploy that camera. It's so cool. What is the next best version of the C-Pod? That's a bit of a secret.
The next best version is, so a lot for the smart home tech. It's always going to be evolving and getting better. And so, for example, we have the gesture AI tech we've been working on. And so you can just make a gesture and open the blinds or close the blinds. So there's ways of improving that, making that better. And that might be going with like our standard camera that we're using for that had a range of maybe a few feet. The next version can go much farther, so you can use it anywhere in the room. So that would just be switching out one module. So you can just, disconnect one piece and plug another one in, a new upgraded piece in, and then you have this better tech. We have a whole new version of that being worked on. So I had some privacy concerns with using a camera and having a camera in my home. I actually spoke with some friends who are also privacy minded people. And they said that as long as the data was being used on the pod itself and being processed on the pod itself and not being sent anywhere else, then that would be acceptable to them. And that's kind of acceptable to me as well, as long as I knew for sure that that's what was happening and it's not, there's no backdoor going to the NSA or something like that, right? So so we're designing the system so everything's being done on the pod, but now we're going from regular cameras to using infrared cameras that are like thermal cameras. So it doesn't get detail like who is, fingers, or that you can actually see the heat print.
Like imagine Predator. Imagine the movie Predator. How Predator saw people. He can't tell who's who.
Yeah. You just see a heat image. And so that's what we're going towards. So that's another way we're pushing the bounds of innovation, and also making your pod upgradable to the latest tech. You can just switch out one module for another, and then you have the newest tech.
Yeah, super cool. Will the roof have solar? Yeah. So the Eco model with the flat roof, it's totally meant to have a solar panel array on the roof, so you can reserve if you have a C-Pod floating tripod model with the 3 outriggers, you can preserve those for different attachments. Like you can use them for recreational attachments, like gazebo and a hot tub, and maybe just another open area for a hangout spot, and then use the roof for the solar panels. For the flagship model, that would work a little bit differently, since the roof it's a bulbous, shape. You would need to leverage one of those outriggers for your solar panel array to accommodate for the flagship model.
You can put a frame on top of the flagship, but I'm really into aesthetics and making it look beautiful, and that's just going to destroy the look. And I think it's best to put it on one of the 3 outriggers on the shallow water model, which is really all that's going to be available for the next couple of years. We're not going to the deep water model. Well, we will have a deep water model on display next year. So that's going to be coming up. So yes, there is solar on the roof and in various locations. Next question. Chad, one of our...
We called that out already.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Masad is the next one.
Masad, okay. Pods can be done on Mars. What?
Your mouth. When you cover your mouth, it's tough.
Oh, okay. Pods can be done on Mars. The concept is unique. Also, pods can be done underwater, not above. I like the concept if it's like an elevator. Cool. Thanks, Masad. So we do have some designs for an underwater pod and a space pod and all that kind of stuff. We have worked a little bit on the underwater pod for an architectural design and some engineering, but we haven't. We have just so much going on right now. It hasn't been a priority, but we do have some cool ideas that we're excited about exploring.
First step towards that is we're engineering an underwater room to be part of the center. Can I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're engineering an underwater room to be part of the center spar that goes down into the water. So you can say that's our first step in R&D and engineering to working towards building, underwater infrastructure, livable underwater infrastructure. We got.
Does the C-Pod have cathodic protection? The first time I read that, I said I thought it was Catholic protection. Yeah. No, cathodic protection against corrosion, and will it affect swimmers or divers in or near the pod? So yes, good question. It does have cathodic protection. I'm going to.
I'll show Instagram again.
Okay.
I'll show Instagram again, but if you want to show,
I'll show it on.
So we'll show it together. So the answer was, does the C-Pod foundation have cathodic protection, and does it affect swimmers? So we're going to show it on YouTube, and here we go. So this is let me flip that screen around. This is the C-Pod spar that was in the water for a year. I'll do this for a year. And if you look at this discoloration on the bottom, that is calcium carbonate. What we did is we ran 1, 2, 3, 4 anodes that were running low voltages of electric current the entire year. And what that did is it draws calcium carbonate out of the water environment, and it coats the entire steel foundation that is being given this electric current. It coats it with calcium carbonate, thus protecting it of rust and corrosion. And it is safe to swim around it. I actually went on multiple scuba dives with our chief engineer's son. Richie helps build a lot of our docks. Me and Richie went on a scuba dive, and we were checking out the anodes, and they were all working well, and we were swimming right underneath the pod. We were touching the pod. It was very safe. We were touching the pod. It was all good. So yes, it's safe for swimmers, safe for divers, and yes, we use cathodic protection to protect it from erosion and from rust. These are very good questions. I saw a couple on Instagram. Here we go. An amazing pen. Oh, there, JC's on.
Hey,
What's
JC.
up, JC? You're gonna be around for the drone demo later. Oh, we should go live when we're doing the on Instagram. Yeah, we'll go live on Instagram later to show the testing of Astro. We've been teasing Astro, our autonomous surface vessel that cleans up trash, can carry heavy payloads up to 440 pounds. We've been talking a lot about this, and we are doing a big demo today with it here in the marina, and so we'll go live on Instagram. JC, I hope you're there. How will the human disposal be handled? So human solid waste is incinerated, and then that incinerator combustion also then heats the hot water tank.
Now, optionally, if people prefer to use a composting toilet, that is something we can make available. We're just not offering that as a standard offering because it's too cumbersome for most people to be super user friendly. So if that's something you want to explore, then there are some available. We haven't found one that we loved that was easy to use and comfortable to use for the average person. So we're not using that at this time until we can find a supplier that has something that works really well, or find a partner that can make something that works really well and reliable.
There was a second part to that question actually that I didn't catch. It was just like trash or compost stuff. So Astro, the drone I just mentioned, it can carry a very heavy payload up to 440 pounds. We're going to be using that here in the local area where the first pods are going to go for autonomous trash pickup. So we'll be doing it that way. We're going to be giving you standardized containers for recycling, trash, compost. I think maybe, am I missing one? Groceries? Are we doing one for food or groceries, giving a container?
There should be one for general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
laundry container.
Laundry. No, I did. That was one I couldn't think of. Yeah. All right, back to the list. That was all from the lives right now.
Okay.
Monthly fees.
Yeah, but keep on sending your questions
Yeah.
in, and we'll live questions in. We'll jump back and forth between the two. Is there phone support? Right now, we don't have dedicated phone support. We have really good support on the website, so you can go there and chat with someone during business hours, Monday through Friday. I'm not sure if we cover weekends. I don't remember, but we will add more support as needed.
Yeah.
And that's really easy to do, and we can add phone support on top of that pretty easily. And we will have 24-hour support once people are actually living in pods. You'll have radios as well as phone support. So if you need anything 24/7, there'll be someone to answer your call.
There's also another way I'd like to answer this question. Because we've had this online launch, we've been getting a lot of inquiries globally all over the world at all hours of the day, and we love it. We're so grateful for it. For any customers who are looking for phone support, obviously we are totally open and ready to have Zoom calls, conversations with you, or a lot of communication I do is through things like Signal or WhatsApp. We're down here in Panama. I have a U.S. number, and so me being down here in Panama, it makes it a little bit tough to use typical cellular data, and so a lot of things are done, email, Zoom, website chat, WhatsApp, Signal, a lot of email. But I guess the context of what I'm getting at is we've had a lot of people who will reach out to us and say, I'm a project developer, or I'm a property developer. Here's my number. Call me if you're interested. More than likely, we are not just going to pick up the phone and call you. We need more information than that to really truly understand that what you're doing or something is aligns with what we are also trying to do. Our pods are not one size fits all. They're not really for everyone, every single 9 billion or whatever people we have here. And so when we have people just reaching out to us saying, here's my number, call me if you're interested, those responses for customer support are a little bit tougher to get back to because there's no context for us to then offer customers. So if you are interested in working with us, I promise you we're interested in working with you too. But please, in those emails, in those outreaches, include some additional context on what this project is, on who you're involved with, on what you're involved in, because more than likely none of our team members are just going to pick up the phone and just call some random number, because it really is. So that's
sounds good.
Yeah,
good answer. All right, is it safe to go swimming? Absolutely, yes. I only want to put pods where it's safe to go swimming. I like being in the water.
I swim every day out there. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
free dive every day, spearfish all the time. Maybe I shouldn't talk about spearfishing.
I like to go paddleboarding every day. I don't get to go every day because we're so busy right now, but there have been times where I was going every day, absolutely, for months and months and months on without break, without a day off, and I loved it. So then let's see, how will the pods affect wildlife? Interesting question. In this area, about 8 years ago, the underwater ecosystem was thriving and was amazing. And then I have some friends that used to live in this area at that time, and then they moved away and came back. And now they're saying that this area has just been decimated. Like there used to be thriving ecosystem of corals and sea cucumbers and other things, lots of fish, and that's not here anymore. So we're working with some of the local partners to try to bring some back and try to create ecosystems that can support them. And we think pods can be an important part of that, like our partnership with Panacea, where they are growing sea cucumbers. They would like to have our pods near their sea cucumber areas because that would help be a deterrent from people coming and just poaching them and stealing them and selling them, because they're actually very valuable. That they have a huge market in Asia that people pay, I don't know, something like $300 a kilogram or something like that for them. So if we can kind of like be a guardian for these sea cucumbers, that would be really, really amazing. And then it's kind of a good relationship because they help clean the water, and then they create a better environment for seagrass. And then so it just becomes a whole ecosystem. So I think working together with some of our partners, and then also working with Reef to Reef, doing some coral restoration work, can really help bring some wildlife back to the underwater wildlife anyway. So we're excited about all that work. Let's see, can sea pods go on lakes? Yes, they can go on lakes. They can either go in pilings, they can go as floating with the tripod model, or they can go in the deep water model with a deep water system.
There's this really awesome lake in Tennessee, and I believe it's ran by the Tennessee Valley Authority. If I'm not mistaken, we were talking to a gentleman who's up in this area, and this is also news to you. There's 2,000 floating homes on this lake in Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah, and the Tennessee Valley Authority that oversees this lake is implementing new restrictions on these homes that include wastewater recycling and the use of solar and some of these incredible things. They're allowing them to stay grandfathered in all 2,000. And so, see, Lake Pods, Tennessee, 2025. Maybe not. I don't know.
Lake pod. That's a new word.
I'm from Connecticut, Candywood Lake. I grew up on Candywood Lake. I was a boater, I was a swimmer, everything my whole life. And I would die to see a lake pod on Candywood Lake where I grew up. That would be brilliant.
Can I customize the floor plan? Yes, as long as it doesn't change the actual, like we can't change the structural boundaries that are there. And there are weight and balance things that we have to consider. So yes, and that would have to be a conversation. It's best if you keep to the general guidelines of where things are placed. And then we can customize, easily can customize the flooring, the wall colors, the cabinets and all that kind of stuff. That's all totally customizable.
Insurance. Let's talk about insurance real fast. We're creeping up on 15-minute time.
Oh, wow.
So the question is has anyone covered this for insurance? If not, what's the status of that? You take that one.
Okay. So yes, we do have an insurance company. We have quotes coming in from 2 more insurance companies. I was hoping we would have the rates this week. And so far, don't like the rates they're giving us. This is something they've never seen before. I think I talked about this yesterday as well. So we do have a company that gave us insurance rates. It's a crazy number. They assume that we're like what they know as a boat, and then something different. So they're going on the high side for insurance. They offered us like $2,000 a month, which is ridiculous. So it's going to be a conversation to get that price down from them, but we're also going to go, once we have quotes back from these other 2 companies, and we may approach a bunch of other companies to get more competitive quotes and get that number down. Because really, the boats pay a fraction of that number. That should be what you pay annually. But most boats actually have holes in the hull, in the actual body of the boat itself. And that's how they build them. And that's actually a huge structural issue, because that makes it easy for them to sink. So we designed the pod with 12 to 15 millimeter thick steel, and there are no holes. There are no holes on the floating section, and the first hole is like 2 meters above the water line. So it's a huge difference. They just don't understand all the differences yet. So it's going to be an education process to help, train them to know what these are. And, people have never seen these before, so it's totally new.
What's the estimated weight limit?
So that's something we've designed the weight limit to be kind of where we are thinking we want it to be. So we wanted to be able to land a helicopter on the roof of the eco model that we have right now. So we engineered it so it will take that. If you had some special requirements where you wanted to have a really heavy grand piano in your pod, then and a lot of other heavy items, and have lots of guests and whatever, then we can play with the buoyancy and the ballast that we have on the pod to accommodate whatever you need. So weight's not really an issue.
What power will be used? 220 volts, 115, or 28 VCD? VDC.
120 volts AC is available, standard, as well as 48 volts DC. Then from 48 volts, you can, if you need lower voltages, then that's easy to power down to those other voltages, and that can be done. But 48 volts is standard.
What material or R rating is the insulation?
I think we talked about this last night as well.
Okay.
So the insulation we have, like on the walls right now in the EcoPod, the walls are like 6 inches thick, 9, maybe more, 180, 120, 180 millimeters thick. So it's pretty big. And that's a lot of insulation. So you're not going to have any insulation value issues on that. I don't know the R value offhand, but we're also looking at playing with excuse me, I got a bug in my throat. Special coatings. And I filmed a blog video yesterday with Paul, and we have this special coating that's organic. You can actually drink it. It doesn't taste great, but we're getting the full list of ingredients. We'll be publishing that on a blog post, so you can see all the ingredients. Totally non-toxic. You can drink it if you want. Just, you might want to add something flavorful to it so it has a nicer taste. We're interested in coatings because coatings are going to be infinitely less heavy and a lot less expensive. And most foams are pretty toxic and are not great materials environmentally. So if we can move towards just using environmentally friendly organic coatings that can replace insulation, and that's kind of a very out of the box solution. But what was really interesting thing was we lit a torch and put it on the this insulated material, which was basically just a cardboard, little piece of cardboard painted with this special coating, and we held it there for like 20 seconds at 500 degrees, and it held up. Like you could put your hand behind and you wouldn't burn your hand, whereas if you put the torch on your hand, it would be toast.
All right. Are water patio add-ons only available with the flagship, or can they be added to the Eco? You can do both. If it's a C-Pod and it's the tripod model with the 3 outriggers, you can do attachments on both. All right. If I buy one, is there a local property management company, or will you, Ocean Builders, help me rent it out? So if you do buy one and it's deployed here in Puerto Lindo, where there are designated areas we're intending to deploy these pods, yes, we are setting up some services with some local partners that will assist and lead that rental property management with things like maid service, cleaning service, even some reception check-in. So absolutely, we will be able to assist with that. So you can certainly look at this in a way as a bit of an investment for yourself. Live in it for X amount of time of the year, and then rent it out, and then we'll have that support down here for that.
Okay, Aaron's asking. Aaron, hey, how are you? Good to see you on here. Can I have an aquarium of fish inside the underwater room, just to be meta? So we have an underwater room. We have the windows already. We have the window frames arriving probably maybe late this week. We already have the windows that go inside the frames. And then we're going to production to make an underwater room that's going to be about 10 meters below the surface of the water. So it's going to be really cool. There's going to be 6 1-meter size round windows around the perimeter of the underwater room, which is 6 meters in diameter. So the idea is, can we have an aquarium on the inside? And we actually thought about this. What if we had a hollow inside and had a transparent tube connecting, coming up in the center, so you can actually have live fish coming inside the underwater pod. So that's something we're thinking about. Not sure if it'll,
Very cool.
how that'll work, but
All right.
what do you think will be the coolest aspect of the sea pod life in 5 and 10 years? You have a crystal ball, right? Well,
yeah, it's in my back pocket.
Yeah, I think we're actually, our crystal ball was here yesterday with the underwater
Yeah,
thing.
true.
It would kind of look like a crystal
It
ball.
does.
It's this big dome with a camera inside that has wipers on it. So just the wipers go around and clean it, but it's like this big crystal ball. So maybe we do actually have a crystal ball. I think we're pretty good at having a vision of the future, because I kind of see how technology can work and can be blended with this kind of lifestyle and give us something that the world has never seen before. And I think a lot of people are very excited about that. I'm very excited about that. What do I think is most exciting? I think optimizing the house with all this tech and with all these new services we're coming out with, and we're trying to help bring all these partners in to work with us. I think we're going to have just a home that is so cool to live in. We were talking about some ideas yesterday at dinner, and some ways of integrating with the Miele appliances into pod life that were just something I wasn't even thinking of. And so there's all these really cool integrations that we can do to just make life really cool. Like you wake up in the morning, you get up and things just automatically happen. One thing we're thinking about is having windows that tint automatically, and like just with a push button. But we can also have that set so that they tint as you walk around the house. So you can actually have privacy in your house as you walk around, as you're close to the window. So you always have that privacy. But at the same time, all the rest of the windows can be clear. So you have like, so I don't know, there's all these really cool ideas. So I think the coolest thing of pod life in the future will be like just the integration of all these things coming together and having a whole community of these. I think it's going to be a very special place, and being on the water is always a magical place to be, in my opinion. I think a lot of people's opinion that are on this call.
John Yurgel asked, what are the options for pod to land or pod to pod transport? So transportation, what are the options for transportation? Well, you can use your outriggers as docks for your own vessels, or there's water taxis available here in Puerto Lindo, Panama, and we intend to deploy these in other areas where we can service it to that same level, where there will be water taxis available, jet ski rentals, boat rentals, or the ability to have your own boat. Dinghies are going to be a massive form of transportation, and jet skis as well. You see a lot of dinghies out here in the marine. A lot of people live on their sailboats and use dinghies as a local water transportation back and forth from land. So it's a mix of both. So it actually really could become very convenient for however you want to transport yourself most or best. Are there any guidelines for the size, number of boats that can be docked at a pod? Well, how long are the outriggers?
They are 10 meters minus a few meters for
the pod shell. You don't want to run into the pod shell if it's coming out.
I think we'd have to figure that out,
and
there would be some guidelines, because it depends. Most boats that are going to pull up aren't going to be interfering like so tall that they're going to hit the pod above. And then so we can dock a larger boat on the outriggers, one of the outriggers. We can have a way of docking out there. We even have a way of potentially docking a submarine on the outer spar. So we can make anything work.
You can use the anchors, right? I mean, possibly as a mooring line, essentially, too, in a way, where the outrigger is. Because you have three anchors at each outrigger, the 3 tripod outriggers. You'll have an anchor I think it's something like over 350, 400 kilos, something like this, over that, for each anchor. And so you can use that as a mooring line for some pretty large, hefty vessels. Elevator options. We're coming out with an elevator option next year, and it's going to be vacuum, right?
Yes.
It's going to be a vacuum style elevator, like a pneumatic George Jetson style elevator. How do I buy one? You can go to our website right now and you can reserve a pod. And what you do by reserving a pod is you put down a $100 deposit. That gets your name on the wait list. And as we move through the wait list, we are going to move through those obviously at the top of the wait list who are ready to move into a contract with intentions to deploy here in Panama. That's how it's going to work. We are only deploying here in Panama for the next 18 months roughly. And so we're just going to go in sequence of who put deposits on that wait list. So if you're at the top of the wait list and if you're intending to deploy in Panama and you're ready to move into a contract, that will be the criteria that needs to be met for us to really start closing those initial contracts for the first set of, let's say, 10 to 12 or so pods that are dedicated to out here. And then essentially going beyond that, it'll just continue to go in the sequence of the wait list. And as we now start expanding globally, it'll go in the respect at which we expand our operations globally.
Just to go back to elevators, if you want to see exactly what we're using for the elevator company, it's www.vacuumelevators.com. So they're a company in Florida. They have designed this vacuum type elevator, and we've done the engineering with them already to be able to have single stop and dual stop elevators. So you'd be able to enter at water level, go up to the pod at the top, and potentially even go to the underwater room if you have an underwater room on your pod. So that engineering's already been done. We just haven't installed one and ordered one. So that's something that's someone, if they want that, we can get them.
Will you have some rules around the number of sea pods in one area? I'll be careful using the word rule, and I will say that there will be a quantified number of pods that we intend to deploy in specified areas. And we do so in a way that will offer you an amazing customer experience. So we're not going to overwhelm a single area with too many pods so that you feel you're too congested or that anybody loses ocean view. Our intentions are for every pod to have an amazing ocean view. And we're minimizing at least minimum is 10 meters between the border of each pod. That's a minimum. So 10 meters is about 30 feet. So figure the closest you'll be to your neighbor is 30 feet at the closest. It might be even farther than that. And I will also say that we also still do have to move at the pace at which the Maritime Authority does, kind of permit and allow us to move at that cadence. We are within coastal waters, and so we're very grateful to be working hand in hand with the Panama government, the Maritime Authority. And so it'll continue to be a nice, slow and steady, but effective process, offering you an amazing customer experience.
Okay, can we do joint developments together and use pod renders to raise money for the development? We've been contacted by lots of people that have some really cool ideas that sound really great. And we're open to looking at ideas and different opportunities. We're kind of overwhelmed right now. So using our renders to raise money for development, that's not something we're excited about, because we've had some people that have no experience doing developments, have no experience running anything like this, and then they want to use our renders, and that puts us in a dangerous position, because if they're raising money to do some development that we have no confidence in, and they don't have any experience building, that makes us look really bad, because if they go out of business or go belly up, then I don't want to have my name on that. I don't want to have our name on that. So that's not something we're interested in entertaining. Now, if it was a developer, like if it was a major hotel chain that said, hey, we want to put this development here, and then we could work out some kind of arrangement where they could use our renders, but they wouldn't need to raise money. So
yeah. Great. We have like 5 more questions in this backlog. We want to just power through this. So I know it's 11:01. Let's just try to move through these final questions. And for those that do have to jump off, rest assured these videos are going to be posted on our YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch these last few minutes we're about to go through. Are there any monthly fees that you have to pay if you own a pod in the Bay? It's a bit of a tough answer to give. I will say that falls down to what designated area you're in. There are going to be designated areas that you may have a sea pod where you'd have no direct access to, let's say, these resort style amenities. Therefore, there may be no monthly fee for you to be paying to be in that spot. You can pay a maintenance fee, which is completely separate, but there will really be no membership fee will you be forced to have to pay if you're in this particular designated area. Now, we are offering options in other designated areas that do have direct access to amazing amenities like saltwater pool, aquarium, event center, reception center, gym, business center, more utilities, super fast internet, things that will really make a turnkey, membership, resort style membership experience happen. And so for that, yes, there will be some sort of membership fee that does cover the access to use all of those amenities for things also like the security and the use of land utilities or internet ran through land cable. Is there going to be club parking a lot? Yes. At all, essentially, yes. We will have designated areas that will you'll be able to put your cars for your pod. So yes.
And the alternative to that is I prefer not to have a personal car.
True.
Because I rarely go to the city, so there's no reason for me to have a car. I usually just get a taxi to take me to the city or an Uber.
Uber's here. Uber's in Panama.
Uber does operate here. The other thing I was asking about is getting like car shares and having one set up out here. So if you need a car for a day, you can get a car share and just use it for a day. And then you can tour around, you can go to the city, you can do whatever you want. And I think that's much more practical than having your own car because, well, for me anyway, I don't see the need for one.
Do you have a token to invest in? No, we don't have a token to invest in, but let me take this opportunity to just touch on real quick the tokenized fractional ownership we've been mentioning. So right now, if you've put a deposit down or you're interested in doing it or you just want to know how are we going to make this happen, we have a very special blockchain partner that we're going to be announcing very soon. We have a smart contract developer that has recently joined the team and is going to be building in this on this particular blockchain that we're partnering with. And we are going to be taking a single dedicated pod. This pod particularly will be rolled out probably around 2023, I would say. And the way it's going to work is there will be an entity, a corporation that represents that single dedicated pod. There will then be a certain amount of fractional owners that can own token shares of this entity to represent this pod. There is a limit at how many people can be a part an investor, fractional owner in each pod. That number is looking around the number of 35 people. And I will say that we've pretty much nearly filled that first cohort of fractional owners for the first pod just through the recent online launch we did. We did get quite a handful of fractional ownership deposits. And so, yeah, it's going to be represented the monetary value is going to be represented with a crypto token. It will be on the blockchain. It will be it will be fractional ownership of a particular CPOD. That CPOD will be here in Puerto Lindo, and it will earn you things like dividends, but also it'll earn you physical engagement with the pod where you can have X amount of nights per year to experience the pod, similar to a timeshare. So it's going to be a play on functionality. A blockchain functionality represented with the crypto token, but also the physical experience like a timeshare. And so we're mashing that up into an amazing fractional ownership experience that we're very grateful that we already have that first cohort of 35 filled out. And it's now rolling over into the second wait list for the next cohort. Very excited to roll that out in 2023.
Okay, next question. Do you have an EIA, Estudio de Impacto Ambiental, approved? So that is like, do you have an environmental impact study done? So we are working with some local marine biologists that have been, I think for the last 6 months or so, surveying the areas where we're interested in putting pods. So we have really good data that is spanning several months on the environmental conditions in the area. Then we have a special, I think we're going to create a whole new standard for doing environmental impact studies on the ocean. We have this new underwater drone coming that can do you know how many sensors that thing has? Aquascan, yeah.
Yeah, Aquascan, it has pH, salinity, turbidity, temperature, depth. I want to say the only thing it doesn't have is dissolved oxygen. Yeah, and it uses side scan sonar, a forward facing camera for obstacle avoidance, so it's not running or damaging into things. a downward facing camera to collect 3-dimensional maps of the seafloor. So it's getting sonar and 3-dimensional maps. And by the end of this year, maybe more realistically, the start of next year, actually, we will have it outfitted with LiDAR as well. It's going to be this 1 meter long beast of a mapping and water quality collection drone.
Yeah. So we're going to be using this. This is a really important strategy to be able to measure and verify and test and do that repeatedly. We'll be able to set a pattern, like an autonomous route, for it to go and continuously every couple months and over a period of years, year after year, you'll be able to compare the data, and it would have like a grid of data for all these different metrics, all these different readings. You can do data on a whole huge grid, and then you can overlay them year after year, month after year, month, and you'll be able to prove scientifically the positive or negative impact. I'm open to whatever we're doing, but we'll be able to show positively that we are making a difference, and we'll be able to actually measure that. What this does that's also very interesting is it takes underwater photos of the area, and then when you stitch all these underwater photos together, it makes something called, it turns it into a photogrammetric 3D representation of the sea floor. So basically what you have is a 3D holographic view that you can actually put goggles on and explore in real time. If you, not in real time, but you can actually walk through it like the ultimate Google Maps for the underwater world. Mm-hmm. I think that would be really cool. So we're going to be doing that, and we'll be able to have some really good data for proving our impact on the environment. So I'm very excited about doing that and leading that kind of charge.
All right, the last question on our backlog, we've kind of answered it, but just to bring it all together, where do I find package pricing online? What is the delivery timeline currently? What is production number available? So let's kind of break this down. So package prices online. So you're not going to see any of the package prices online yet. It's so much to digest, to add on the website, to really be able to navigate and just understand just by looking at the online, to really understand how much is available and how to best personalize it. So because it's so much, Grant and our team, our design team, we're working on easily shareable, easily digestible PDFs, but also web versions of it that we will put on our website that will offer you a very easy look into what's included in this package, what's included in this package, what's included in the third package, the 3 costs, and then also having a bit of options for a la carte, whether you want to pull a couple things out of the package, you want to add a couple things into a package. We're going to do our best to use such a versatile, way of adding what you need into your pod, both on a package and a la carte level. So again, because it's so much, we wanted to take the extra time to make it so compact but easily digestible, so you have an amazing user and customer experience personalizing your pod. What is the current delivery? So the first pods are going to be the first commercial group of pods, about, let's say, the first 10 or so are going to be deployed in estimated summer 2023. We may accelerate that a little bit, but that's what we're estimating. Going forward, we will have at least up to 100 in development and production throughout 2023. So after those first 10 are delivered in the summer, it'll then be an ongoing basis of just continuing to deploy more and more on one-off or small groupings. The timeline of production right now, we're estimating roughly 10 months, but we're working our asses off to accelerate that and shrink that to a much shorter timeline, to the single-digit months. And what is like the production number available right now? So again, we have 2 units out in the water right now, or 1 unit on the water now, the second one going out within 90 days, a little bit sooner. And so by the end of this year, we'll have 2 showroom demonstration and rental models, and then that first first batch of 10 estimated summer 2023. So just how it's going to work for those who have a deposit and are on the wait list, we're going to move in the sequence of the wait list, really starting with who paid the upgraded deposit, right? Who's ready to move into a contract, and who's ready to deploy here in Panama. All that criteria met will allow us then to start focusing on those people and then move through the wait list that way. And then as we start expanding outside of Panama, will move through the wait list in the respect at which we expand our operations globally. So hopefully that gave a good answer on that. And folks, that's all the questions from the backlog. We got one more come in from YouTube, and I'd love to answer this one because I have I just played a few weeks ago. Question is from Daily Dose of Pirate Chain. I love to play basketball, so where's the nearest area that I can play basketball near the sea pods? Isla Grande has a brand new built basketball court on the island. It's beautiful with restaurants and bars all around it that you can walk up and down and spend a full day. Me and our creative director, Jared, shout out to Jared. We were playing some basketball with some locals out on the island. We went out and we did some filming, and then we went at dinner, and in between that, we stopped, we dropped the cameras, we dropped the work, and we went and we played a game of 5v5 with some locals. It was a lot of fun, brand new court. So yeah, and that's from where the first pods are going to be going, not even a 5-minute dinghy or jet ski ride or a little boat ride. You can paddleboard there.
Yeah, it would be a 20-minute paddle ride.
Okay, 20-minute paddle ride, yeah. But 5-minute jet ski or dinghy or boat.
Yeah,
water taxi, like a water Uber. So yeah, I love that question because I love to have been able to give the answer to that question, because something like that, it's like basketball court. I mean, yeah, I'm glad we really have it. Somebody that said sold. See, it's stuff like this, like the little stuff like this, knowing there's infrastructure here, and folks, it's growing. They're building it, and we're grateful to feel like we have a bit of a leadership role in helping expand this infrastructure, whether it is that island is the Grande with the basketball courts and the restaurants, or it's the island that we're partial owners in, that we're working on a new marina and more commercial developments for, or it's the rehabilitation site and estate that we're expanding essentially into a resort neighbor nearby, and then markets, some restaurants, new upper level restaurant right here at the marina, beautiful white marble flooring, sunset views, cocktail at night. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So someone's asking about the HR contact for Ocean Builders. You can send resumes to info@oceanbuilders.com. And then someone else commented that it would be awesome if it'd be perfect every pod owner has a 5-fish. We have one. It's really great.
Well, that's Eddie.
Oh, that's
our partner. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's right.
I respected Eddie plugging yourself in. No, it's really cool though. We have this underwater yellow drone that has beautiful 12 megapixel camera on the front, 166 degree wide angle lens, 2 lights on it for night as well. Although I don't always recommend using the lights underwater at night. I love my marine science. But the visuals, the photos, and the video, and it live streams too. And it has 100 meters of tether line to it. And so with a VR headset, you can literally sit on your sea pod balcony, have a glass of water or wine, whatever you're drinking, throw the VR headset on with your controller that just uses your a mobile app or a native app on your iOS or Android device. Sit there with the VR controlling your underwater drone, exploring beneath your pod if you don't want to go swimming or for whatever reason. So Eddie, I'm glad you're here. We hope to see your representative from Panama City here at our event. I think his name is Jesus is
okay, cool.
He's a representative in Panama. So glad you're here, Eddie.
All right.
I think that's it, folks. That's everything from YouTube. Let me just do a quick run through Instagram. I think it's just been mostly people joining. I haven't seen any. We have some follows. Thank you for everyone who's followed us and joined us on Instagram. Yeah, we haven't gotten any more questions through here that we didn't answer already. Did we just get one more?
No.
Oh, they just said thanks. Cool. All right, folks. That's it. We'll make sure these videos are on YouTube, packed with some FAQs. So we do kindly ask, for any references to check out these videos. But always feel free to, hit us up. We like to think we offer some good, reliable customer support, user support. So we're here to help. As you can tell, we like to try to make things very transparent. Let's give Instagram one more flash. Can you set a phone up? One more quick flash for the folks.
Oh yeah, no, it's timed out. So
it's timed out.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We'll give Instagram one quick scoop around real fast. There's some of our production crew on our cart. We got Rudy's cart, Grant's cart, My car is somewhere right there. We got all of our electric cars, Ocean Builder's truck, C-Pod Spar. What else we got? We have our welding section over there. That's our telehandler. Right there is a spar, a metal spar that we welded a bunch of little like little nubs on them that we popped little 3D printed coral pieces onto it to make the bottom of the whole spar a coral reef. This is the marina, and if you can see right there, that giant green structure, that is the crane that we use for these initial models that we've deployed to assemble them together and deploy them on the water. Yeah, I mean that under that blue tarp is Astro. It's a giant autonomous surface vessel that we're doing the demo today. So we're excited to reveal that today and show everyone. That's about it. So
well, those are our benches for the.
Those right there. Yeah,
gazebo.
Those are benches for the gazebo. 1 bench, 2 bench, and there's more inside that factory. Yeah. So this is a little inside scoop. Another boat that we're restoring. Another push boat. We have 2 push boats in the water. That's a 3rd one. Is that the desal machine?
Desalinization machine.
That's the desalination machine right there, our proprietary desalination machine, and then we remineralize the water as well.
It's in the silver box.
Yeah, and that silver.
And the Miele fridge.
Miele fridge right there.
In that big box. And and then that other box, crate.
That crate?
Yeah, that crate. Right there is the underwater windows. There's 7 underwater windows there.
7 underwater windows in there.
They are 1 meter diameter each window.
Yeah.
So they're pretty huge.
Yeah.
All right.
Just a little tour, a little mini tour. So thanks so much, folks, for joining us on the Saturday. For anyone celebrating it, have a great Labor Day weekend. Everywhere else, just have an amazing weekend in general. Whether it's your evening, afternoon, Eddie, it's getting evening for you, so we appreciate you joining on your Saturday evening. All of the folks that it's daytime, go enjoy your afternoon, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, folks. All love.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Oh, we have a guy asking about installing a pod on Tortola. That would be, we'd have to look at the area and see whether it would be a deep water or shallow water model. And we just want to make sure that there would be support out there. So we wouldn't be able to deliver it there at the beginning. Tortola is an area in Panama. It's close to Panama City. It's an island over there. So that would be a great place for pods. I know we have looked at that area a little bit, but that wouldn't be someplace we would be able to go for the for the next year. After that, then we're going to be looking at other places where we can put pods, and I think that could be an option. If you have some specific, like a plan to put a couple there, then get in touch with us, and we'll see if we can figure out a way of doing that. Okay, so get in touch with us on email, and we'll be happy to help. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.